Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Sam Dominguez, and I'm actually re-uploading this video because I want to add a little bit to it. I want to get a bit into the techniques that I use and some of the materials in them. I also want to share some of the interesting facts that I found about this ink cap mushroom that I'm painting. Yeah, it's got some really cool and interesting features, so I want to get into that a little bit later. The paint that I used is Artist Loft Gouache, and it seems like people really don't like it online, but I really like it because it's got these three colors, the primary, cyan, magenta, and yellow, which makes it really helpful when you want to paint really vibrant colors. So I really like it, and it's only 14 bucks, so it's not bad. And I also used this Watercolor cold press 4x6 paper, and as you can see, it's kind of got a little bit of texture. I also used these little like newsprint, and I just cut them to the size of the 4x6 picture that I'm drawing so that I can do my little rough drafts. In the beginning, when I'm just kind of working on the composition, I like to do a couple drafts, and I don't really put a lot of time into these or detail, but these really save time just because I know that I like the composition later. So when I start to really put work in, I can just be more confident in my work, and it just really helps. So then I cover the back of the draft with some graphite, and I just trace it lightly, and I get this, and I just kind of use the gum eraser to make sure it's not too dark so it doesn't show up. You can actually use a water soluble graphite pencil when you do this, like on the back, scribble with that stuff, so this tracing will be water soluble and just really not show up much in your painting. Then I kind of like to go in and do any fine details with a water soluble color pencil, just so I have some reference to follow when I start painting. And working with this gouache, it's a little too thick to use right out of the tube, so I water it down a little bit, and I still leave some viscosity. I like it to be about like the consistency of whole milk, so it's not exactly as runny as water. And it still has plenty of transparency at that point, but you can still use it straight out of the tube when you need to. But even then, I always like to put some water in it because it self-levels and it doesn't really show any brush strokes anymore once you get a certain amount of water in it. So you just got to kind of experiment. And now that I've done all the prep work, I can start painting. I'll speed it up a bit from here. I didn't mention before, but actually working with references, multiple references for this painting. I'd like to get started painting from life, actually, acquiring the mushrooms. There's a lot of ones I can get from the local farmer's market that I live by, and I think that would be really cool. But for now, I just used multiple sources from. I'd actually really like to start doing live paintings from like getting the actual mushroom and painting it. I have a local farmer's market, and there's some really cool ones there. I want to try lion's mane that way, but for now I just used picture references. The ink cap is really cool. They grow in temperate climates, and they actually grow all around the world. They like soil and like decaying matter and stuff, like gardens, lawns, and I've heard that they can even push up through like asphalt and stuff, which is really cool. They grow in clusters too. Some mushrooms just grow just like one or two, but they pop out in groups. And that spore dripping feature is actually I think it's unique to these mushrooms. It's called delicescence. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but as the mushroom just like gets ready to drop the spores, the gills just kind of dissolve into this black inky stuff. And I've heard you can paint with it too. I think that's so cool. I haven't ever tried it. This mushroom's actually edible too, but you're supposed to avoid eating it with alcohol, apparently, because I guess it can make you sick. I guess it just makes you like really nauseous or something. The substance inside it that makes that happen is called coprine. If you want to identify these and you find some out in the wild, the young mushrooms have a bullet-shaped cap that later flattens out. The cap is grayish to light brown with fine scales and can reach 3 to 7 centimeters in diameter. The gills are initially white, turning black as the mushroom ages, and the stipe, or the stem, is slender, white, and hollow, measuring 6 to 15 centimeters tall. And you can do a spore print too to help identify it, and the spores will be black. I had a lot of fun painting this mushroom. I really like the contrast with that ink dripping, and I just think it looks so cool. I wanted to put some texture on the stem because it was just mostly white in the pictures that I could find, so I just kind of stippled in some relative value, paint, and just gave it some texture. And then up there in the cap, I started doing a wash to just kind of get the main colors blocked in. And after that, I start doing more and more detail, just kind of building up the layers. It's very therapeutic painting the fine details, for me at least. I can really just kind of forget about everything and just put some music on and just have fun with it. One of my favorite things about gouache is just how opaque it is. Here I was painting the dirt and I got a little too carried away and painted it a little too high, and I didn't like it, so I just went over it and fixed it. It's cool. Working with watercolor is just so much more difficult, I think, so this is pretty liberating. Another thing that's really cool about gouache is that if you, like me, you need to take a break every now and then, you can just let it dry even overnight and just spray it, and then it's like you have a fresh palette again and you don't have to remix. That's something that really turned me off from acrylics, having to remix colors every single time I wanted to take a break. So I've been really enjoying that about gouache. It's very liberating, and it's just makes it so much more accessible. And here it is, completed. I'm just so happy with how it turned out. It was really fun to paint too. If you enjoy this painting and you would like to purchase a print, I do have them for sale. I'm doing limited prints, and all the links are down below in the description. I also have a video of me painting this chanterelle mushroom. If you are interested, I'll put the links here. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like content like this and you want to see more, subscribe and I'll definitely be putting out more of these in the future.